it is impossible to argue that having Khalistani tribes from India or Palestinian Israel hate groups on our streets, these consistent international issues that we see play out on Canadian streets. We've seen violence against MPs time and time again. The government of Canada itself admits that 18,000 known criminals have entered the country in the past 5 years alone. And my question to the government of Canada is why? Why make Canada intentionally a more dangerous country? And the answer to me seems obvious. They're intentionally making the country more dangerous. So similar to what we're seeing in the UK right now, they can argue that digital IDs are necessary to keep the citizenry safe. The only explanation I see for the policies that the Liberals have implemented, whether it be soft on crime policies, catch and release, open drugs being handed out to offenders, welcoming criminals into the country on a regular basis, it can only be meant to demoralize the Canadian people, disrupt our society, and in my view, over the long run, it's going to be used as the excuse to implement digital IDs. We're already seeing nooks and crannies like My Service Canada. You see mention of a digital photo verification, which never used to be there before. We see Carney speaking about interprovincial IDs to help out trade. They're rolling it out slowly, but I would bet anything within the next 6 to 12 months that Carney and the Liberal Party of Canada, similar to what they've done in the UK, announced they're introducing digital IDs in Canada. They're needed to keep the population safe. In the UK's case, they're using immigration as the excuse. They're saying that in order to tame immigration to the UK, they need digital IDs. So the government creates the problem. Government of Canada has allowed the equivalent of Vancouver into the country over the past 4 years. For the past decade, it's insane. It's unprecedented immigration rates. So the government of Canada creates a problem. You allow 18,000 convicted criminals into the country. You do not prosecute serious crimes time and time again. We've seen so many repeat offenders in Canada, and we know it's a very small percentage of the population that commits the vast majority of the crimes. Yet the Liberal Party of Canada refuses to lock them up. Typical Communist Party. So what we'll see in Canada is similar to the UK. Starmer in the UK is saying that the British people are going to be mandated by the year 2026 to have digital IDs, and this is the hill to die on, in my opinion. There's so many crazy bills in the pipeline in Canada. C2, C8, C9 attacking free speech like never before. But the most extreme attack that these WF Davos, net zero, LGBTQ tyrants want are these digital IDs so they can track everything. Imagine the Freedom Convoy on steroids. Trudeau and the Liberal Party of Canada, it was ruled they violated the Charter rights and freedoms, but Canadians who had simply donated a couple $100 to the Freedom Convoy had in many cases their bank accounts frozen. Can you imagine with the digital ID what the Liberal Party of Canada is going to be able to do? My God, why would we want more centralized power in the control of the Canadian government? It's ridiculous. It's not what the Canadian people want in any way, shape, or form. Scrap your stupid interprovincial ID. Scrap any digital ID you have. Danielle Smith, I thought, gave a good statement recently, but Canadians do not want digital identifications. We want the Liberal Party of Canada, the Liberals out of our lives. We don't want more laws. We want fewer laws. The Canadian people are sick of being told we need more and more laws, more and more governance, more and more people coming into the country. It's gotten to the point where it's insane, it's tyrannical, and we need to point it out now, because with 100% certainty, I can tell you it's in the pipeline. Starmer, Macron, Carney, they're all playing out of the exact same globalist playbook. You can bet your ass that the immigration patterns in Canada have been very similar to what they are in the UK. There will be some sort of a similar justification in Canada. Carney will give, if he even gives one. He may well just try and sneak digital IDs in without Canadians being aware of it. There have already been some worrying cases there. And this is a government, give me a break. They'll tell you they're worried about Canadian safety. Yet they've allowed 18,000 convicted criminals into this country in the past 5 years alone. They're spending billions of dollars at the same time as a record 4 million Canadians using food banks. They are using billions of Canadian taxpayer dollars on these refugee houses for immigrants. It's insane. Your primary responsibility is to the citizens who live in this country. Yet our government, the Liberal Party of Canada, these woke far lefties who view the world through this oppressor dichotomy, view Canadian values to be so-called oppressor values, and their whole goal is to ultimately tear the system down and tear power. We're on the exact same roadmap right now in Canada with these digital IDs and speech laws that they were in Russia with the Communist Party. Lenin, Trotsky. We're seeing a lot of the same thing. It's a pride flag rather than a hammer and sickle, but it's the exact same idea. It's a far left tyranny that tells you as a Canadian citizen what you are and aren't allowed to think, with the government setting the rules on setting rules on so-called hate speech. But what the government of Canada actually means by hate speech is speech they hate every single time. Sorry, Mark Carney, Anita Nunn, just because you don't agree with what Canadians think doesn't mean we don't have a right to say it. It's our most fundamental, most basic right. And they're trying to expand the definition of hate speech to damage everyday Canadians who say anything that they don't like. And everyday Canadian citizens have had enough of it. It's gotten ridiculous. We've had enough. Please like, share, subscribe, join, become a member, donate, grab some gear. Really appreciate everybody's supports.